you always are part of that touch. Like, because it gets really easy as we're both big enough and have done this long enough to just like kind of hand stuff off so quickly. And I'd like to know a little of the psychology of why it's so deliberate that you are part of that, still in a very crucial part of that process.
I think initially I was years ago, I was trying to take shortcuts and hire people that maybe have already were licensed and maybe already in the business.
Mm-hmm.
And I've completely done a 180 on that. And now it's all personality. And I just look at, okay, I don't care if you're licensed. I don't care what you were doing.
Mm-hmm. It's
almost better if you were doing something weird and you just want to get out of it. So you're going to really, really appreciate a good opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And, and if you're licensed, that's almost something I don't want you to be in, because I'd rather teach you, how I think it should be done.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have these bad habits that you might have picked up over the years. So it's all personality. It's all energy. It's all, finding somebody that has that high energy level, positive, optimistic, happy, right? You know,
simple.
Get your hands around that one.
It's actually simple.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know that it's sometimes you have to do some homework and, get on Facebook, whatever, but hopefully they're happy at home too. It's really important. I mean, I've found now recently that if you hire somebody that's happy at home, has a happy environment outside the office, tell somebody not to bring their stuff inside the office and see how long that'll last. It doesn't last very long.
Yeah, right.
Leave that baggage at the door. It's hard.
It's not how it works.
It's hard.
Right.
Yeah. So if
I
you can
totally
find somebody that has a healthy culture outside of the agent, your business, you're so far ahead of the game.
Yeah. One of the other things I found interesting, that just from knowing you for a while, because you get referred all the time. Like, I think literally, if you were going to say, hey, who are the people that get referred the most of all the business owners that you know, I think they're both sitting in these two chairs. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know of anyone that gets referred to more people than you. And hopefully I'm second, or I'm in the top 5, but you get referred to a ton. And what I find interesting is with 11 people, you always are part of that touch. Like, because it gets really easy as we're both big enough and have done this long enough to just like kind of hand stuff off so quickly. And I'd like to know a little of the psychology of why it's so deliberate that you are part of that, still in a very crucial part of that process.
So the referral is the gift, right? I mean, if you can have somebody in your community that's almost working for you, and brings their client to you in some capacity, it's priceless, because it's a gift that never stops. I mean, they can give you client after client after client, and so that's the best opportunity or best situation you can find in sales. Going back to what you had asked, I think a referral is very personal.
Mm-hmm.
So if I refer somebody to you, obviously you don't work for me. There's a divide between us, but it's still very personal.
Mm-hmm.
And what you do with my client is going to reflect back to me.
Yes.
So I take it very personal. And if you refer somebody to me, they will have some interaction with me, because the last thing I want is you to talk to them a month from now and say, hey, how'd that go with the McClure Insurance Group? How'd that go with Matt? And they say, maybe they say it went great. Maybe they say it didn't go so great, but they say, I didn't even talk to Matt.
Right.
To me, that's kind of a slap.
Yeah.
Potentially to you.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a slap to you, then the chances of you referring somebody to me next month is much less. Mm-hmm. So there's a fine line. I mean, and I know we can't do everything. And so there's always room for delegation and to have your team, help you with the situation so it's done, at its best. But, somewhere between A to Z, you have to have that interaction with that client. And what I do is I normally have that interaction at the most important point, the sale. Like, I'm going to go over the coverages with you personally.
Yep.
I'm going to make sure that you understand everything. I'm going to follow up personally, like 9 out of 10 times,
Wow.
But there was like maybe A, B, C I didn't do, and maybe X, Y, Z I'm not going to do. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm going to make sure it's done right for you.
Yeah.
And then when, whoever referred you to me gives you that dubious question, like, hey, how'd it go with Matt? You're going to go, it went great. And his team was great. And, life is good. So that, to me, that's really important, is that you do have, if somebody refers me, I have to talk to them.
Right.